Jen.
Oh,
Hey.
hi.
Hey.
Oh,
hey,
hi.
lady sitting over there in the studio.
Hey, you sitting over there. Look at
See,
you.
you.
Cheers
Cheers
to
to you.
We're doing a podcast.
We're doing a podcast. It's the hashtag IMOMSOHARD podcast. And
Is that right?
If you're listening to this right now, that shouldn't come up as
Maybe
a
we
surprise
have this
to you.
misnamed because I lose
No.
interest halfway through you saying that.
Well,
Say it
that's
again.
just because I don't say it in a sexy way. Hey, thanks for joining us on our hashtag IMOMSOHARD podcast.
Oh, yeah. That's better.
That was better.
Yeah.
I lack energy today. Remote
Me?
learning's been a mother. I can't.
Kristen's having a vodka drink from her fancy Kristin and IMOMSOHARD cup that somebody sent to us.
And I brought it in my purse, so don't judge me.
Yep.
It's all fine.
I have a cup from Target that says more booze, please.
In the spirit of Halloween.
We're going to talk about
Honestly,
Halloween.
if a police officer walked up to me and was like, you can't have that here, or like I happened to take the bottle of vodka out of my purse, I would just look at him and I would go, second grader, fourth grader.
Yeah. And sir, this is for when I get someplace, none of your business.
Yeah, you know what, sir? You know what? Go ahead and arrest me because I would enjoy a
vacation.
nice time in lockup.
Yeah.
I would have people to talk to. I would know all of the questions and all of the answers because no one in lockup is like, let's do fucking grouping.
I feel like I'm getting an unkind derriere bang from this homeschooling situation. So what's the diff?
What's the diff than lockup?
I get
Cheers to you, lady.
Cheers.
Whoops.
Cheers.
You look really cute.
You
Jen's
look
got
cute.
fun pants on as she usually does and shoes I'm sure that are from some weird French website and a cute little denim top.
These are from Cyprus.
I don't even know what that means.
It's a different country. I don't know.
Oh, they're from Cyprus, the country.
Yeah.
See what I mean?
I'm thrifting.
You guys, my outfit is all black.
Sexy
with
red
boots that I got from DSW. Because
But you know what? They're sexy red boots, and we'll get to why she's all hotted up
Sexed up.
today in our hot flash.
Oh yeah, let's not talk about
later
it.
on
So
today.
embarrassing. Oh my god.
We're going to talk about Halloween because by the time you guys hear this, Halloween's this week.
We're
right?
going to not only talk about Halloween, we're going to talk about the horrors of Halloween. And some of that includes your children. And
Creepy
you know
stuff.
it. And I know it because
Kids are creepy.
kids are creepy. Man, and here's how we know. Y'all lit up our Instagram and our Facebook when we said, do your kids say creepy things? Like our kids have said creepy things. And what you brought to the mat and to the voicemails literally said,
Shocking.
but it's wonderful because we know your kids aren't crazy.
Yeah.
They're not abnormal. They're just
Percentage-wise,
creepy
very few
sociopaths.
of them will be axe murderers.
Well, that's what I always say. If they're not trying it out now at 3, they're going to try it out when they're 30.
Yeah. No, it's the quiet ones you got to worry about.
It's always the
Where
quiet
I
ones.
was saying that my daughter will say, "Night, mommy. I hope you don't die tonight."
Yeah. Or
And she kind of says it too much where it's like, what do you got working?
Yeah, what do you have a plan for with after the old cash comes to you after my DOA?
Yeah, I got news for you. It's all in shoes from Cyprus,
Yeah.
baby. You're not getting anything good.
You need her on planet Earth for a little longer, Delilah. You need her around a
You
little
need some
longer.
more work hours out
Eleanor
of me.
used to always say, "Mommy, I wish I could peel your face off and sleep with it at night." And I was like, that is the sweetest, creepiest thing I've ever heard. And Finn went through a real phase of, let me ask you, Mommy, when someone drowns, does blood squirt out of their nose and their eyes at the same time? I'm like, what do you even know about drowning?
Yeah. And
Is this pool safety? Anyway, that's what we're going to cover today is the creep of kids, the horror of Halloween, all things creepy and scary,
a little bit scary. Although I have to say,
hauntings and ghosts.
I don't think ghosts or hauntings are, I mean, some of them are like super scary, like a poltergeist situation. But I have to tell you, I guess this would be a ghost situation, but it's my quality time.
It's a quality time ghost
It's a
situation.
quality time.
It's Jen's favorite thing. If you say quality time and ghost situation, they basically are the same thing.
This happened. This happened. And I was so glad that my husband was there for it. Because I'm like, Kristen's not going to believe this.
Oh,
and
God.
I didn't text her right away to tell her because
You wanted to wait for this?
I wanted to wait. And I should have like my husband like notarize a document saying like literally this did happen. So on the episode that we did about dogs, everybody knows that my dad's dog, Jaja, like my dad had her for 10 years. When he passed away, she came to live with us.
No.
And then so a week ago she passed away. But the day before she passed away, she was fine. She was ornery as could possibly be. And she was peeing all over the place, which she always did. But we were
Let's not judge. I'm ornery and I pee all over the place.
If I sneeze or
I don't know if I have a week left.
If I move too quickly.
It's not, I just thought about it and a little came out. I'm not going to lie about
That's
it
why
right
I was
now.
not judging this dog. But I, like with remote learning and everything, like
now I did pee.
Yeah.
I just literally peed.
Constantly like throwing like rugs into the washer and stuff like this. I was like, why is everybody trying to kill me right now? Like, I don't have time. And it's been hot. And so I was thinking like, oh, I'm going to have to tell my brother, like, I think she's getting old. Like, I'm going to have the
you
phone
gotta
call
figure
and
it
be like,
out.
we got to start thinking about this.
Yeah.
And the washer is full of dirty rugs. She did it again. And I told my husband, I handed him this rug. I go, we just throw this out the front door because I cannot deal with this right now. I don't want it in the house. He goes, throws it out the front door, and the light right by the front door starts freaking out, flickering. And it never does.
Wait, this is before she died?
This is the night before she died. Starts freaking out, flickering. And I was all like fired up and mad. Plus, it's bedtime, and every mom is psychotic around bedtime.
Yeah, it's a nightmare time. It's a nightmare time, period. End of story.
So
print it.
Britt looks at the light and he's like, oh, do you think maybe because I have my husband like convinced that like lights and stuff is like ghosts using energy to like communicate with us.
Oh my God.
So Britt was like, hey, do you think that's your dad? I go, yeah, it better be. He better be apologizing for his dog pissing all over my house. I'm so mad right now about it. And the light starts flickering again.
No.
Swear to God.
It's like, don't you talk back to me.
No, I know he was like, no, I know exactly what's going on. Blah, 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 blah. And so my husband and I were just standing there looking at it. And he was like, do you want to ask him anything else? And I was like, it's okay, Dad. I love her. She's just a pain in the butt right now. He's like, you want to ask him anything else? Like confirm that it's him? Kristen's shaking her head no.
Nope, I don't. Sir, I bid thee. I hope all things are well. I will not engage.
So at this point, I was like, the light was back to normal. It wasn't flickering anymore. And I go, if this is my dad, he's going to tell me to make sure to vote. And that son of a bitch lit up like the 4th of July. I'm not joking you. My husband was so freaked out. He was like not even moving. He was just like it was answering, just like he would answer in a conversation. So that I also feel like he was there to be like, hey, I'm coming to get the dog off your hands. Like she's going to be with me eating cheeseburgers.
Now you have plenty of time to vote.
Dog park in heaven. No excuse not to vote in person.
Get out to the polls.
1,000%, which next week, everybody do it.
Yeah. Well, except this will be past that time.
Oh, will? No, it won't be. This is going to be the 27th.
All right. So, you still have a week.
Yep.
Get out and vote.
You'll be off your Halloween hangover.
I hear that you've been high. I hear that you've been drinking this yummy drink called Athletic Greens. Tell me all about it.
Well, you know how I'm huge on like daily rituals and like trying to do something that's self-care, especially in the world that we're living in. And usually I have like 16 vitamins every single day that covers like my general health, my like fiber, my all that like my vanity stuff for my hair and for my skin. You know, I'm trying to do that because I don't work out. I got to do something.
Go you.
So I've been doing Athletic Greens, even though I'm not athletic. It's quick, easy to mix up. You can just grab it and go. And it's taking vitamins, minerals. You can actually substitute your vitamins with Athletic Greens.
I think that's really cool. And you know what? I too have had some Athletic Greens. And I'll tell you this, it's delicious to taste and it's not grimy and gritty, which is the thing that I get turned off by any of those drinks. So the perfect diet doesn't exist. Shocker. And despite eating a balanced diet, you're not getting all the nutrients that your body needs to thrive. So with Athletic Greens, you get all that.
Yeah, in one thing too, because it's made with 75 vitamins, minerals, and whole food source ingredients. You'd be hard pressed to find more of a nutrient dense formula on the market. It has a multivitamin, a multimineral, greens complex, probiotic, prebiotic for gut health, an immunity formula, digestive enzymes, and more. So you don't have to take a zillion things.
Yeah, and by the way, nobody likes taking vitamins because it's like you're swallowing chalk. And right now, Athletic Greens is giving our audience a special offer on top of all of this all-in-one formula, which is a free liquid vitamin D supplement with your first purchase for additional immune support.
I'm taking that because many of us are deficient in vitamin D, especially women, which is usually produced in our bodies from sun exposure. And let's face it, we're hermits right now. Okay.
Right.
So Athletic Greens is giving you up to 1 year supply for free with your first purchase.
So if you're looking to upgrade your multivitamin or take one nutritional formula that's going to help you cover all your daily nutritional bases, then you want to consider Athletic Greens. Athletic Greens makes getting as much high quality nutrition as possible incredibly easy without the need to buy multiple products.
Yeah, you can't get it all from wine, you guys. Make an investment in your health today and try the ultimate all-in-one wellness bundle and support your immunity, gut health, and energy by visiting athleticgreens.com/IMOMSOHARD. You'll receive up to a full year supply of liquid vitamin D for free with your first purchase. Again, that's athleticgreens.com/IMOMSOHARD. I know I'm not alone in this. At our house, we have had to come up with some pretty creative problem solving for going back to school to preparing for the upcoming super holiday, Halloween, everybody.
Halloween. And while this Halloween may look different, yes, the treats don't have to stop at candy.
No.
So with a KiwiCo hands-on art or science project, your ghoulies won't go batty with boredom.
Oh my.
Instead, they'll be inspired by KiwiCo's seriously fun and innovative, creative problem-solving creates delivered right to your door every month. Get ready. No bones about it.
That's quite enough. I think we all know we're not just going to ply the kids with Halloween candy this year because that's like punishment for us. But to give them something fun that they can make and then play with this thing that they've made, like the marble race that we got.
Or the
kids are still
kaleidoscope
playing
like we got. It's really cool. And they can trade and they can do each other's crates. It's a whole thing. It's very, very cool. And we're very excited about it.
It's super hard to find like new and creative ways to keep the kids busy that also like stimulates their brain, especially nowadays. So KiwiCo does the legwork for you. You can spend more quality time tackling projects together. So you can get real high quality engineering, science, and art projects for kids and for you, Kristin, that kid at heart.
Thanks. With different crates for all ages, there's something for everyone. Literally, KiwiCo has 7 lines underneath its umbrella, including the Panda Crate and Koala Crate for infants and toddlers, all the way up to Doodle Crates and Eureka Crates for the older kids and teens in your family. There's no commitment, so you can push pause or cancel it at any time.
KiwiCo is redefining learning with hands-on projects that build confidence, creativity, and critical thinking skills. There's something for every kid or kid at heart at KiwiCo.
Get 30% off your first month plus free shipping on any crate line at kiwico.com/mom. That's KIWICO.com/mom. Yeah.
So I don't usually think ghost stuff is that scary because I just feel like it's this other universe that you just can't see.
That's what I would like to kindly disagree. How do you do it in debate? I would like to kindly disagree with Madam Smedley about the ghosts are actually terrifying on every
Why?
level.
They're not there to like.
Even when they're helpful, they're scary. What are you talking about? First of all, here's my real truth. Now it's gonna happen.
Okay.
I don't believe in ghosts, but now I'm going to be a portal for all ghosts.
You don't believe in ghosts, or
be-
you're so scared that you just say that you don't.
I think that I'm not going to say I don't believe in them because I don't want to mess with, I don't want to tempt fate. But I also believe I would be that person that they were like, all right, now you're going to be a portal where we can all like use your body and come through and talk to people. And I would be like Whoopi Goldberg and Ghost, and I'd have to be everybody's like conduit. And I don't want that kind of trouble. I don't want any guests right now.
That's what I feel like is like it's not that you don't believe in ghosts. It's that you super believe in them. And maybe you're just like shutting them out or something because you're like Kristin's kind of like a hummingbird constantly. She's on a different frequency. It's like string theory. She's like, oh God, I got a message from somebody that, the ring's in the safety deposit box or something like that. Like she's just trying to shut it all out.
I'd be the worst medium. They would be like, we can't get this bitch to follow through with anything. She has the attention span of a gnat. We just need you to deliver a message. Stop going to Target. We never said you needed to go here.
Kristin would have like a week where like she wasn't eating or doing laundry. We're like, oh, she's a medium this week.
She's a medium this week.
She's so many people talking to her. She cannot
I'd be
focus
like,
up.
Talking to my people. That would be great. Hey, ghosts, come on in. Anything other than remote learning. I would take a literal haunting over remote learning right now. That's what I would say.
Well, it
so
is
if
a
the ghosts
haunting of
want to take
sorts.
take me over and use me as a vessel, that's way better than me having to do any more social studies. I don't care.
I will say I think that is scary. The idea that somebody could
that's what it is. Are you not talking about are we getting into the deep cut of ghosts? Because I feel like, okay, so I did some research about ghosts and I freaked me out, but I was looking at all the most famous places in the world that are haunted. And my takeaway was they're always a hotel. It's a random house here or there, but always it's a woman that's been murdered by her husband. And they give her the dumbest names, like the floating white woman or the floating green woman or the floating woman.
What did you read this on?
I don't know. Clickbait?
Floatingladies.com.
Floatingladies.com. You can also order their apparel. I don't know.
Fetish website.
I'm not telling anybody I'm a journalist. You can't trust what I say.
There is, okay, I'm going to dive deep into stuff I don't know anything about because I do believe.
We are not fact checkers.
We're not.
We are
You can tell me I'm wrong.
And then I go like this. Yeah, that seems right.
And my husband's from New York. I hear it every day. I know that I'm wrong about most things. So I think there's energy.
Me too.
So I think
Me too.
That is what exists. And so whenever
I'm taking a note so I don't forget, because of my ADD, you have to write down notes. And
that's
I wrote down the word energy.
She would be a tough medium, because if there was a ghost talking to her, she would just
keep my attention. Don't be boring, Uncle.
She'd just look at me. So I think that energy can leave itself places. So something everybody says the field at Gettysburg is one of the most haunted places ever.
Yeah.
Because it was so horrific that there's energy left there.
Do you want to hear something really dark?
Yes.
This is really dark.
I do, because
I don't talk about this very often, but it was literally one of the most life-changing experiences for me. I was a production assistant on the movie Monsters Ball with Halle Berry and in Louisiana, which she ended up winning the Academy Award for. And when I tell you as a production assistant, just so everybody knows, that's a fancy word for lowest person on the totem pole. I was I would get bottles of water for people. I couldn't have, and I loved it. I love that kind of energy and whatever. And we went to Angola prison where we shot for 2 weeks.
Oh yeah.
And I got to go into a room where they used to electrocute people. And that's obviously no longer allowed. They do lethal injection or whatever. But they brought in, for the movie, an electric chair from the Historical Society. And guess who they strapped in it to test to see if all the straps worked? This lady right here. And I will admit, I went too far. I was really trying to deep dive into what my feelings were about the death penalty. I mean, I was
ma'am,
whatever.
We don't need you to method act right now.
Yeah,
you're going to have to go to Starbucks right after this. So please get out of your zone.
Which is so true. They were like, hi, where's Kristin? Can she bring us waters and towels?
There's a toilet clogged in one of the campers.
I'm having this entire moment, and they're like, can she not have opinions and just get her ass back to work, please? So they have me strapped in this chair. And but I will tell you, that room, they had the viewing room. I'd never been in anything like that. So I wanted to have this full experience. And I will tell you, when you walk into that room, the temperature of the room changes, and that is not the AC. And it was the literal saddest. This room, to anybody else, it literally looks like a conference room with a window in it. You don't know the difference because it's not used that for that anymore.
Yeah.
So this was a movie set. So they cleared everything out, but then they opened the curtain, just like this window here, and behind it is the family. And as I was sitting there, I was like, this is literally and I felt super sick to my stomach.
God, I'm picturing
but it felt so cold in there. And I was like, and I would say that's why I believe in energy, like you do. I believe in that energy, because where that energy was so cold, when you get a room full of women who are having a good time, it ain't nothing but heat. You know what I mean? The energy shifts based on I always say and this isn't to just talk about us, but we've been so lucky to do those shows with all those women.
Yeah.
Man, I'm if there is not power in a group of 2,000 women sitting with each other, that feels like women in there that are going through chemo, women in there that are dealing with sick kids, or they're sick, or they get in there and they're I feel this power of sisterhood. I fucking buy into that 1,000%.
Yeah, Kristen's like, you can see this from space, I bet
You can
There's
see
so
this
much
from
good
space.
energy.
If we all start our periods after this, shit is getting real in those rooms. And that's not, like we've always said, it's less about us and it's more just about that party that's going on. But I do believe in energy. I believe in the power of
this is kind of what, like, I know there's like pheromones and things like that are like measurable, but you know this because you worked as a bartender. Like, you
guys, I went from the electric chair to a bartender. Not much different.
She went from a PA to bartender.
Yeah, you guys have nothing but success.
It sets you up for parenting really well because you
have
all you are
no
is a
idea.
gopher and a chef, short order cook.
Totally.
Yeah. So, but when you're like in a bar, you could walk in middle of something happening. And you're like, the energy in here is really strange.
Yep.
You can tell that like there's anger in a
If there's going to be a fight between,
Yep.
you can pick it up. Like you can pick up that there's a fight that's going to break out and you don't know who those two people are.
So if something happens in a space, like in a hotel room, like in a place where a woman is the scaredest that she's ever been
in her life,
it imprints on the place or something.
I
and
believe
there's like,
that.
I think like, you know, they can prove like 12 different dimensions. I think energy can be so big it like crosses dimensions. So you can like feel it for a long time.
Also, this is how I get more even pro woman is I believe that women are so highly intuitive and they have such strong intuition. That's why we walk into a room and if like somebody's not having a great time, we like immediately go to them and we're like, I can tell something's off. I'm going to take care of it. I don't need to know what it is. I can tell you're having a bad day. Or you can sense that. Whereas guys are like, does anybody have any dip? Like,
exactly.
I know that women are picking up on shit. So if they're in a room where someone's been murdered, they're like, something's happened in this room.
Yes.
And it is not humping.
It is exactly like when women were cave people, they would be like, I got to protect this young human. And I got this feeling there's a cheetah around. You just like get this sense like your spidey sense.
It is not a woman wearing a wonderful coat. Yeah. It is an actual cheetah.
That cave woman is like, I'm going to give myself a cheetah skirt and I didn't even
You know what? I've wanted
a
new fanny pack for a while and Gucci ain't coming out with nothing new. So
not for thousands of years. Well, I think they will figure out how to measure all that stuff and like prove that it's like, it's just another dimension that's like butting up against this one, which for us, it's freaky because I did go to a psychic after my dad died and she was like, he's trying to talk to you, but he doesn't want to scare you. Like, because.
See, and that stuff doesn't freak you out. That stuff keeps me up at night.
Really?
Oh.
But why?
Because it's not normal. I don't want, because it's going to, what else? So, okay, great. I go to a psychic and they're like, hey, your aunt wants to talk to you. She's unhappy with some of the jokes you've made. And then all of a sudden I'm talking to my aunt. Then I'm like, oh, great. What else does that mean? Like, am I going to accidentally trip and go into like hell space and have to exist there? Like,
that's your Catholic talking right there. That's your Catholic aunt's coming back to mind after
She's so Catholic. She's like, your track record sucks.
Because I think that like once, generally speaking, like water is under the bridge when you have passed on, you know?
Sure.
So I think the scary thing about it and the thing that is scary for all of us is that like, what if somebody had such an axe to grind that they took it with them into the next dimension?
Well, what if they don't know that like, okay.
That they're gone?
Did you ever see the movie The Others? This was a whole section I had about like the scariest movies you've ever seen, but this is a good transition.
Tell me, I don't watch scary movies because
why? Okay, see, that makes no sense. You're fine to like tempt the god. All they
do is paint ghosts in a very bad light, and I don't think they're all bad.
You need to watch The Others because the reveal at that movie is wonderful, and that is not what is happening. I can't believe you haven't seen The Others because I think that would be
I'm gonna put it in my phone. I'll watch it.
Your alley. It's with Nicole Kidman. Well, now I can't talk about it because I'm going to tell you the end.
Oh, well, tell me. No, I'm not going to watch it.
Yes, you are. You might. You need to stop watching all that other stuff, which is a literal nightmare, and like start watching this.
All I watch is like the scientific part of ghosts. I don't watch I can't watch like demonic possession because I think that's all kind of BS.
You think exorcisms and all that? I do too. It freaks me out.
It's a way for the church to make money. I think it's like, listen, Catholics and Scientologists, at some point we got to admit to the fact that people have multiple personality disorder and stuff like that, you know?
Or they don't. They're just like, every religion's trying to make some extra dough. Like, you can literally, like, sorry, why do we not just call what it is? Like, you're like, I'm a priest. I got some options that are a la carte, or I'm a rabbi. You can pay for this, or you can call it, you work for the universe and you're going to have someone come in and sage your house. All of it comes at a dime.
Yeah.
Like, nobody's getting paid in spirits.
And I don't want it to sound like I'm bagging on Catholics, because everybody I love is Catholic. However, let's just call it what it is. It's like, you know what? I don't know if this like Melaleuca soap is really doing shit, but it's not hurting anything. So I don't think this exorcism's going to hurt anything. But actually,
exorcisms are kind of hurt.
Yeah.
And they are also aren't. That's like a high level Catholic thing. If like you're Catholic, that's like Fight Club.
Yeah, I knew somebody who had 2 exorcisms.
No way. They had them on themselves?
No, their parents had them done when they were
Their parents had them exorcised like twice?
Like the sweetest person you've ever met. And yeah, I was like, I have issues with my mom because she didn't like.
I love that they're like, she needs an exorcism. She's 15. She's willful. We can't get her to do the dishes. Can you come and take out this devil person that's running her? And it's like, no, I can't, because she is 15.
I understand the desire to do so. I'm not saying I don't get it, because I went through a stage that probably paralleled a heavy metal interest as well. I'm sure I had like an Ozzy Osbourne album that gave the wrong signals.
Your parents are like, she's a devil worshiper.
But I think God that they're like, my parents were enough to be like, you know what? She's going to be who she is.
And your dad loved music. He was like, I can appreciate all music.
Yeah.
Like, he wasn't going to be worried that you listen to Ozzy Osbourne. He's going to be like, she's fighting the man.
My parents would have been like, we don't care if she's a devil worshiper as long as she pays taxes and takes care of us when we get old. Literally.
I sort of feel the same way. I'm like, it's not my thing. I don't want you to kill anything.
No.
And I don't want you to, but who am I to judge? Like,
if we're all consenting adults and human beings, that's where I draw the line at judgment.
Yeah, I'm like, whatever gets you to put some money in a coffer. If the devil worshippers are raising some good money for philanthropy,
I have no idea.
I don't know.
Also, I don't want to put out there too, I don't want to bash the Catholics, and I don't want to say good things about devil worshippers, because I know
they're both very close.
I'd like to say I don't know what I'm talking about on either front, but I'm just saying, like, I'm willing to admit that I don't know things.
I don't know anything. And I say that all the time. I literally, if I was an essay, I would have no sources. They'd be like, you were supposed to support your facts.
She's like, I have strong feelings about
I have strong feelings and no fact-based anything.
Yeah. Well, that's what I feel like right now. We're still flat earth in terms of like ghosts in the afterlife. And so years from now, when we have like, this is, okay, my husband has been very in the same camp as you, like
forever.
Most of his life.
Yeah.
And I really do feel like is that he's had things happen that were very like scary to him that he can't explain. And so he just would like to disbelieve that it's a possibility and totally lean into like logic that is provable currently.
That feels fair. But your husband lost his mom when he was young. And I think when you grieve, like, I love the idea that like you would see something that would make you think of that person and that would bring you some sense of peace.
Yeah.
That to me feels magical and something I believe that we need and feels okay. What I'm talking about is like sitting down with someone. It's like, I need to talk to my father. I can't. I will freak. And I also am like, that is not, what if it's not him? What if it's a devil version and he's trying to manipulate the system? It can be dark.
I don't know, but
it freaks me out.
If you're going to talk to a dark person, maybe. But like when I talked to that psychic about my dad, the way that I knew I was 1000% talking to him was he was like, this seems like a bunch of bullshit to me, but whatever's going to make my daughter get off my back for a while, I'll give it a try.
God, isn't that funny if your parents in the afterlife are annoyed with you, that feels so good that like,
yes, I was like, okay.
Everything is right in the world.
No, he's not broken up missing me. I can like,
he's like, Jen, can you give me a minute?
Yeah, he's like, hey, Jen, why don't you forget my birthday again and
yeah, like let's go back to normal.
balance your
Everything's
checkbook
fine.
because I can see now that you haven't.
Yeah, you need to focus on your financial situation more than me. Stop paying these fucking psychics.
I know you'd be so mad.
I know. He'd be like, how much? Let's cut out the middleman. You can just pay me directly. Put it in my
birthday present. So
I know. But you know what? Listen, I'm not going to sit here and say I don't believe in those things, but it's so funny. You know, I love unsolved mysteries. God, I can bring back everything in my life to unsolved mysteries. But there's a whole section in unsolved mysteries where there's always some, like, a woman was traveling and broke down in the middle of Kansas, and a man helped her put a tire back on, and later they found out that man had died 100 years ago. And I'm like, the dead man ghost helped her with her tire. That shit freaks me out.
I have one of those.
But it's a good ghost. It freaks me the out.
Each and every their gender inclusive deodorant is formulated for sensitive skin, which you have. It's made without aluminum, parabens, baking soda, alcohol, yucky stuff, all the synthetic fragrances. It only uses natural ingredients like coconut oil and Dead Sea salt to reduce body odor.
And did you know that Each and Every was founded by two women in the beauty industry who were very frustrated by the lack of high quality natural deodorants? One of the founders holds a PhD in molecular and developmental biology and used her in-depth understanding about how the body interacts with different ingredients.
So cool. And Each and Every just launched sustainable plant-based packaging. It's available for all full size and mini deodorants and is an eco-conscious, get this, carbon negative alternative.
How can you say no? Try it risk-free with their 30-day money-back guarantee.
I want to know that how it doesn't hurt your pitties because
it doesn't hurt my pitties.
They scream, they get dry, they hurt.
They
with
hurt.
Other deodorants.
Yeah, and this is like a little bit of self-care in my armpits, and you know what? That's an area that needs some attention too. So I highly recommend.
Well, this is not official, but it feels like it's smooth jazz for your armpits. It's just something that's like comfortable, calm, makes you feel good.
Right. It's smooth jazz in your pits. And now you can visit eachandevery.com/mom.
eachandevery.com/mom and use promo code MOM for 30% off your first purchase.
That's not eligible to combine with other discounts or subscriptions.
That's promo code MOM at eachandevery.com/mom.
I'm going to tell you about an amazing service I've been using called FrameBridge, which you know I love. They make it easier and more affordable than ever to frame your favorite things without even leaving your house. And you can add a gallery wall to your home or office and send a perfect gift, because you can do this all from art prints or diplomas that you have sitting around or ones that are on your phone, and you just send it to them and they frame it. FrameBridge does just about everything.
I'm going to tell you how it works too. Okay,
great.
Just go to framebridge.com and upload your photo, or they can send you packaging to safely mail in your physical pieces. So preview your item online in dozens of different frame styles, which is what I did. Can you tell I can't wait to show you what mine looks like? Okay. Choose your favorite or get free recommendations from their talented designers. That's cool.
That's right. And the experts at FrameBridge will custom frame your item and deliver it ready to hang. Like ready to go. And FrameBridge prices start at $39 and the shipping is all free. Plus our listeners get a 15% off their first order at framebridge.com when they use the code IMOMSOHARD.
Okay, so I am going to have a new office and I want to show you this. Look at this that they did. It's like a 1960s, 70s Pan Am ad for England that I got. My father-in-law was a pilot for Pan Am, and that was his route. So we got it to hang in our house. I'm so excited about it. I didn't know what kind of mat to choose, but I got to do it all online virtually and pick the perfect one.
I know they make it so easy.
Get started today. Frame your photos or send someone the perfect gift. Go to framebridge.com and use promo code IMOMSOHARD to save an additional 15% off your first order.
Just go to framebridge.com, promo code IMOMSOHARD. Framebridge.com, promo code IMOMSOHARD.
So I had a meaningless ghost experience.
You had a meeting with a ghost?
A meaningless ghost experience.
What does that mean?
Like,
it sounded like you meant you had a Zoom meeting with a dead person, and I hate that.
Nope, I'll tell you what it was. Like, it wasn't one of those, like, I was in a house. I was scared, blah, blah, blah. I was in Kansas City driving back to Nebraska in a blizzard.
You saw a white woman.
Nope. I
Not
saw
a white woman. A white ghost. That's what they always call
I
him.
saw Colonel Sanders
Jen.
walking by the side of the road. I
chicken
swear
guy?
to God.
The chicken
Colonel
guy.
Sanders, white hair, white suit.
I don't want to call
old-timey
bullshit
tie.
on this, but I want to just point out
My
that it
hand
was
to
a
God.
blizzard and it was
Why-
a man and there was
I was-
literal white stuff hanging from the sky. This is why I can't.
I was in.
I want to believe
I was
you.
in the car with a friend, and I was like not going to say anything because I'm like, there's no way that I just saw Colonel Sanders.
Did you
and
do mushrooms?
Not this trip. I turned to my friend and I was like, "Did you?" And he goes, "Yes, I saw it too." Like we were both so.
In a white tie with a black bolo?
Why was that black bolo tie? Like,
Are you telling me you saw the black bolo tie?
I could see the black tie, so I could make sense of like snow being covering a person. But this was like the tie was still like
We're
crisp
from the
black.
Midwest. You know that's not an uncommon fashion.
It was like
option.
1 o'clock in the morning. A guy that old's not going to be out walking through
You
a
don't
blizzard.
know my uncle. My uncle
It
was
was your
white.
uncle.
He enjoyed it.
It was your
But-
Uncle
Well,
Sanders.
I've got how many uncles do I have? I'm just saying. Okay.
You were related to him
wanna
somehow.
I want to believe
He
you.
was like a lost Confederate.
He's like finger looking good.
He really, I swear to you, it happened. And I would have thought I was crazy if I didn't confirm it without actually saying what I had just seen to the person in the car next to me.
I don't like any of those stories. This is the shit I'm talking about.
But it's meaningless. We drove by. Like it was
a meaningless ghost. I just randomly saw Colonel Sanders. No big deal. I don't know if you have a meaningless ghost experience. Because
That
then what
one.
are the other ghost experiences? They're like, I saw this ghost and she like,
I don't know
took
when they're
my
trying to
pants
like
off.
tell you something. Because my grandparents lived in this house in Oklahoma, and they had a dog trainer ghost named Kenneth.
Airedale.
No, that's my uncle. No, there was this guy named Kenneth who I imagined to be like a big Queenie dog trainer.
Oh God.
Like
Those are the
gave
best.
his number out at a lot of bars, and they used to
Sure,
still get
don't
phone
judge
calls
him.
for Kenneth, and they're like, Kenneth is dead.
Oh no. Oh no.
Yeah,
Oh no.
yeah.
Can you imagine? That would be terrible.
That you're getting
I-
calls for a dead person. Yes.
Or or maybe it's really awesome and a compliment to him that he's like, hey man, even after I've made my way, people still want a little bit of Kenneth.
But whenever we would visit their house, my brother and I were like mortified because we totally thought it was haunted. Like even adults didn't want to go in the basement of my grandparents' house. They would be like, you come with me. Well, I'll go get ice, but you got to come with me.
I've never been in a house that I thought was haunted.
Except for mine.
Yeah, yours. Which you have to tell that story about. Didn't Britt like? I say this with love and kindness because I've known Britt for 100 years. Didn't he like scare you when you were holding the kid?
Yeah. And I peed myself. We lived in this house that we rented this house, and only 2 families had lived there before. Like the first
Yeah,
people.
one had lived there for like 30 years.
Yeah. And then the people who had lived there next lived there for like 30 years, and they still owned it, and we rented this house from them. And when we moved in, we had just gotten married, and I was like, that grandpa, the ladies that rented it to us, I was like, their dad's still in this house. I can tell he's still in this house. But I didn't want to freak out my husband, and he was still in the like mode where he thought
Britt's
I
like,
was
don't
like,
say it in front of the realtor. Don't say it in front of the realtor.
yeah, where he was still like thinking that I was crazy. But he had like worked so much on this house that if you would like go to hang a picture, like put a nail in the wall, a faucet would turn on
Nope.
or the lights would flicker.
Sir, you have to leave.
So much so that we got to the point whenever we were going to do anything, we would say out loud in the house, we'd be like, okay, we're going to do this, we're going to paint the room because it's going to make the house better and cleaner looking if we paint it, and then the weird shit wouldn't happen. And one time I got up in the middle of the night to go to the
This story is
bathroom.
the worst.
I got up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom, and I got like, so the bathroom was like in the hallway. And as soon as I reached like the bedroom door, I just felt my husband was behind me. And I was like, oh, he thinks he's going to scare me. That's hilarious. Like, I don't know why he's doing this. And I sat in the bathroom, and I could feel him standing. It was totally dark. You couldn't see anything. And I could feel him standing next to me. And I was like, I was like, get to the joke. What are you trying to do to me, man? And I was like, Wheaty's too quiet. Like no ankles are popping. Like no, nothing is happening. And I did the math in my head. And I said from the toilet, I go,
wait, you were on the toilet?
I was on the toilet. And this pervo ghost was standing next to me. No, I just 1000% felt this person next to me. And then when I realized there was no way it could be him because his body, like, your clothes make noise or something. I go, Britt. And he could tell by my voice, he said from the bed, he goes, I'm right here. Like he knew that I thought he was next to me. Like,
and then did you?
I gave the ghost a hand job. And it was the biggest fight we've ever had because my husband is like, you are so lazy. You don't do anything with me sexually. Like, or just a lay there lame.
Grandpa Ghost was like, hey, if you want to hang pictures and you want to live in my house, you have to.
You got to pay to play, girl.
You got to pay to play. You got to give me a hand ski in order to like, I don't like your artwork. I don't like your style. I don't like what's going on. I'll be real quiet if you just.
It was so scary.
Give it a little tug on the rug.
That was a really freaky experience because I couldn't figure out like what this ghost was trying to communicate to me. But when my husband would go out of town,
I think his boner might have told you everything you needed to know.
I was like, what's pounding on my forehead in the middle of the night? Bunk, bunk, bunk.
I'm going to die.
But I used to like, when my husband was out of town and the kids were born, I feel like he was like, Grandpa was like protective of the kids. Because if I got freaked out, because we live like sort of.
You're not freaked out by Grandpa. That's what I'm saying. Like, you're like, hey, Grandpa Ghost, watch my kids.
Because it occurred to me one night when I was super scared and Dash was a baby, I was like, if there's a reason that I really legitimately need to be scared right now, I need to go get that baby and get the F out of here.
Oh.
So I said to myself, like, be serious. And I also got, because when you're like a new mom, you automatically are like, I'm going to hunt down and kill the cheetah.
Yeah.
Like
I got to get rid of the threats before they even become an issue.
I'm going to like cycle through. If this is a legitimate threat, I need to deal with it. But otherwise, I need to get some sleep.
That's my thing. And when we were in, where were we? We've stayed in two famously haunted hotels. One of them was in San Antonio. And you were like, oh my God, I can feel the energy. And Renee was very into it and everybody was very into it.
We've stayed in 3.
Right.
Rhode Island.
Yep. One of them was in San Antonio. The other one was in California here in Riverside.
Yep.
Very famous. That was the only one that I was like, I feel this. So my thing is.
Weird stuff happened when we stayed there.
I walk in and I always say the same thing. Hello? If you are joining me, I would just like to say now that I intend to watch Outlander later and it's my business. I'm on my own without my kids and I'm gonna you know what? It relieves the lower back pain. So if you have any judgments about it, sir, madam, please exit the premises.
Go to another room.
I'm going to go to Jen's room where she believes in me and she's not humping herself.
I'm going to freak her out all night. And what is this fool doing watching Ghost Hunters?
In the middle of a haunted hotel. She's too available. I'll go back to creepy weird lady that.
You know what? Nope. I changed my mind again.
You know what? I'm not going to deal with either one of these broads. I'm going to go find someone that's way more fun to haunt, like a married couple.
A newlywed couple.
Newlywed couple that thinks they're going to have affairs this evening.
You know that ghost is like, I don't want to come into Jen's room. She's going to either like talk about her feelings or her favorite foods to eat. And
they're going to be like, she's just too much. I'm going to get out. My husband's favorite thing to say is because when we talk about our husbands dying, which is a terrible thing to think about, I think most women are kind of like, oh my God, that feels so sad. But your first thought is like, how do I preserve the family? What do I do for them?
Yeah.
So my first thought was like, oh my God, if something happened to me, my first thought is I want my husband to get remarried. I want him to like settle into a family, like whatever that means. And
when we talk about us dying.
Yeah. But the second they talk about them dying, my husband's like, you will be alone. That sounds terrible and untrue. Ghost action on the other side.
You guys are perfectly suited for one another.
We are not ghost doing anything like that.
I have literally told my husband, I'm like, anything happens to me, you get married right away. And he has a list of names I've given him. I'm like, I don't care if they're currently married. They'll be good parents to the kids.
That's how women think. They're like pragmatic, give permission. But men are like, you will not be soiled by another man. I'm like, you don't know me. I might go real young. Just someone that wants to get athletic.
That's right.
I'm going to get an IUD. We're going to play around all the time. It's going to be great.
It's like, I feel like I shouldn't have lied to you so much about my life before we met, and then you'd be much more okay with what happens.
My husband would come down, literally, that would be who the ghost would be to visit me. And he'd be like, why are you giving so many blowjobs right now? You never did that when I was on Earth. This is bullshit. I did nothing but work for you, and I got one on my birthday. You're like giving them out like they're candy. Gross.
You are not going to do that.
I would
That's
not.
all.
I honestly would not.
No.
My husband's
Why?
fine in the afterlife. He'll be like, she ain't gonna do it then either.
Yeah. Plus, you're like, I'm grieving. You just make me happy.
Yeah.
You go to work on me, young college lad.
Gross. I couldn't deal with that. I'd be like, oh, exhausting. I couldn't. I would just be exhausted. I'd be like, you know what? Can't.
Oh, well, yeah. Oh, you want to do that again? It's been a couple hours.
And then I would get like
I'm just
weird
on like
about
a
it.
twice a week schedule.
I'd be like, you need to focus on being successful. Like, what are you doing with your life? That's what I would do. I would ruin a really sexy opportunity and make it. I would do what I do to situations, and I would make it unsexy. It's fine. That's another horror story that we can talk about it.
That's why like older men can date younger women because.
Oh no, they can't.
Well, I don't like it, but I tell you what, older women dating younger men, it's sort of like, be like, really, so much football? What if you spent this time looking up penny stocks? What happens then? What happens if you just got your master's?
But you know what? Like, man, now we're on another tangent, but I'm gonna say it. Like, I do feel like that is a hard thing to deal with. Like, if you were 50 and you were having a good time with a guy, let's say he's 28, so none of it's filthy. Okay. I feel like the idea of that alone makes me exhausted.
Oh, yeah, no,
I would need it to be like a weekend at like Bridges of Madison County or weekend at Sandals Resort. I wouldn't want it to be like a long time thing.
Which is sort of the same reason that I feel like older man dating a super younger woman is because I just feel like you got to bring the same shit to the table. Like the same life experience. And my husband is how many years older than me?
He's not that much older than you. It's not like gross.
Yeah, it's not like 15.
No, it's a
20,
reasonable. It's like what,
years.
8? No, it's more than that. It's 8.
Yeah, it's 8.
It's 8. That feels totally normal to me. And I'm 4 grades older than my husband. And that feels fine. But like age can be a thing. That's a whole nother. Jesus.
This is different.
Let me go. Let me loop back. I'm going to loop back. I got to loop back.
You know what? Let me loop it back. So young ladies don't date ghosts. Don't date guys that are almost ghosts.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it.
You need an equal.
Date their almost ghost.
Yeah.
You need an equal.
That's
you
right.
need a non-almost ghost. Okay, let me ask you a question. I have a couple fun questions for you.
Okay,
answer this as fast as you can without thinking. Ready?
Okay.
Scariest movie you've ever seen ever in your whole life? Go.
Poltergeist.
Same.
Yeah. Scarred me.
And it was PG-13. Did you know that? It was
That's
PG-13?
back when you could show boobs in a G-rated movie, though. That's like...
Yeah,
10 years ago.
Yeah, Disney was like, we slip a nip, nobody cares.
Yeah.
Yeah, PG-13. Gremlins was PG-13 too. And they put a gremlin in a blender.
Is it weird that movie didn't scare me? It annoyed me. I didn't like that.
It's funny that it's annoyed you. It didn't scare me, but I just watched it again. And it's the campiest, dumbest thing I've ever seen.
Stupid.
And I super enjoyed it.
Yeah.
There's so many. It's so bad. It's a great first horror film if your kid's like, I want to watch something scary. Because we can't here's the difference between us and our parents. Like my parents were like, Freddy Krueger seems fine.
Oh my gosh.
I slept in my parents' bed way past the point of appropriateness.
My husband and I talked about this recently. It was like a big deal to get a shower after watching that movie. I was so scared.
I was scared. And I'm going to say something that's going to It's disturbing. I'm mildly buzzed. I found Freddy Krueger mildly attractive.
He was cut. He was ripped up.
He was ripped
really
up,
was, yeah.
and I wanted to know what was behind those broken eyes. I felt disgusting and confused and
I also,
aroused.
it's Stockholm syndrome for sure.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Do you get what I'm saying?
That's
That he
why
was
people had like posters of him and stuff like that on their wall.
What?
Take
looking
that
at me?
sweater off, nice and
Stop
slow,
it.
Freddy
I
Krueger.
get it. You're aggressive.
But you know
What is
have we
wrong
talked
with me?
about that? Is that Wes Craven or was it Clive Barker? No, who
No,
was
I
it?
think you may.
Wes Craven.
It might be Wes Craven. I
'Cause
need to know for sure.
I read an article
He
that
did Scream. Wes Craven did Scream for sure.
yes, huge horror guy.
We're gonna get this wrong. My friend Ruben's gonna like write a strongly worded letter that I'm gonna get all this wrong.
I won't care about
Phone a
that
friend.
because I don't like horror.
I do.
at
I
all.
live for it. I want a movie. I've always said
But
I
do
want
you
a
know
movie
that
that's
Freddy
so scary.
Krueger was a real person who used to stand?
Jen,
I'm going to tell you right now. When he was a teenager, he lived in like,
where are you getting this?
I read this article. What was the inspiration for Nightmare on Elm Street? There was this guy who would wait for the bus down under a stoplight in this red and green striped sweater with a fedora hat on. And he would watch the guy all the time and was like, that guy's really scary. And he said one night that guy looked up to him and waved. He knew the guy down there always knew that this kid was watching him. And he became this like, I got chills all over my body. So it's like based on what he was really scared of.
That's why that guy was so scary, because the idea that you couldn't go to sleep, and you know me, come 9 o'clock,
She's out like
that
a
is a
light and things.
heavy time for me. And I'm like, I'm going to die so fast.
Yeah, she's first.
I'm
She's
first.
the appetizer.
I'm so first.
Yeah.
I don't even stand a chance of second or third. I'm like right through that waterbed. Cut
Yeah.
through, done. Killed. But I find him attractive. So I'd be like, well, go down in a flame of glory.
And you know, Jennifer Aniston was one of the, she was in it that was up in the ceiling getting like.
No. Are you serious?
Yeah.
I know Johnny Depp was in it.
He was. I didn't know
Totally
that.
guy
but
through
Jennifer-
the waterbed.
I think that was Jennifer Aniston. We can look it
We
up.
gotta
but I'm
look it
pretty
up.
sure that it was
Either
her.
way, I'm happy about it.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so your scariest movie, Poltergeist, if you
Yours
haven't seen
too?
it, it's terrified me. Saw it with a babysitter.
Yeah.
My parents came home and they're like, we can't get this kid out of her bed. What happened?
So, and that movie was cursed. Craig T. Nelson is the only
Yes.
person still alive.
Yes, totally true.
And the little lady.
No, she's not alive anymore.
She's not.
Mm-mm.
Well, she
This
lived a
was she
while.
went-
She had a good life.
She had a
I'm
good
not-
life.
Yeah.
Well, she's like, I was
This
supporting. If
house
I
is
died and I
plain.
wasn't
Yeah, that'd be
categorized as a
bullshit.
lead, that'd be sucky.
Yeah, I was like corpse 5, and what the hell?
Why does the corpse rub off on me? I didn't
don't-
even get a lead title.
I don't even get residuals off
Fuck.
this? This is bullshit, man.
That's amazing. I think I wrote down some of the scariest movies. I blame Ruben, my friend, When a Stranger Calls Back, but there's two. It's either When a Stranger Calls Back or When the Stranger Calls Back Again or something like that. It's
When a stranger
about-
calls and when a stranger calls
yes,
back.
Yes.
Okay.
When a Stranger Calls Back. And it's this When a Stranger Calls Back is about a girl that's babysitting 2 kids, and there's a knock at a door. You never see him. And he's like, hey, my car broke down. Could I borrow your phone? And she's like, I'm not comfortable with this. I'm sorry. And he goes, okay, yeah, no problem. Leaves. And it's this whole thing where he keeps knocking and he's like, well, I know you're in there by yourself. So can you? And then the kids disappear. I mean, it's the most
What?
terrifying thing. And I saw that deep into my 20s and I was like, I'm not going to make it through. But any movie with a kid in it
Oh, I can't. Yeah.
is the most. Do you remember Pet Sematary when we were younger?
Yeah.
And there was a part where the kid saws through the Achilles heel. He's cute as hell and he's cutting
Gage. I read the book.
Gage. You like Stephen King.
I do like Stephen King, and somehow like reading a horror book rather than watching the movie.
Is it fun?
It puts you in control of it a little bit more.
Because I've never read a horror story. I read a lot, surprisingly, a lot of James Patterson, a lot of.
I like Stephen King because it's like I think it's good writing because much
he's
like
great writer,
J.R. Tolkien, like all the I read those and it's how you picture it when you see it in the movie. They communicate the idea so well
Clearly.
that's how other people interpret it
Yeah.
also. And that's how Stephen King is, I think.
It was really scary. The beginning of it, Do you remember I was on a plane?
watched-
I was on a plane with you, and I like a dumb shit. I'm sitting there. You know, I'm not quiet on a plane when I watch a movie. Jen,
She's like, oh, don't go in there. Oh, don't open that door.
I get so embarrassed because Jen's like, sometimes we get sat across the aisle, not sat next to each other. And I'm like, I'm going to watch a movie and I'll lose myself. And I'm like, oh, hell no. Oh, no. And then I look over and I know she's like, Kristin, you're being really loud.
It's not honestly that bad, but she does do this. And there's no exaggeration. No. And then she takes her headphones off and gets up and has to like walk down the aisle. And I'm like, quit watching the movie, Kristin. If it's that bad. Or she'll be like, I can't. That's it. I can't. And
I do it to myself and I enjoy it and I hate it. And that's exactly who I am as a person. You know what other movie terrified me that was so scary? And I was 7 months pregnant when it came out, Paranormal Activity, which was.
Yeah, I can't even think about it.
Jiminy Christmas. I went to it and the first big reveal comes late into the movie. So you're like waiting. And then this big reveal happens.
Yeah.
And I flexed and peed. And I was like, did I just force my water to break? I have to leave this theater. So my husband and I left early and then I watched it later after I had delivered the baby. I didn't go that night, but I do think it.
That movie is really scary. And so
it was wonderful.
Our friend Ryan did the face at the end to me.
Oh, like, I thought you meant in the movie. I was like,
no.
What?
No, he loves all that.
Me too. I know. We talk true crime all the time.
Yeah. No. So he was telling me about the movie and I'm like, no, just tell me because I'll never watch it. Like it's too scary.
Jen gets nightmares if you retell her about a movie that was scary.
I do. I picture because he made the face at the end and he did it so accurately that I was like, well, that's scary. But if that's the scariest part of it, I'll watch the movie. And
it's terrifying.
It's so horror because they make it feel like it could happen.
Hell yeah. It looks like it's all done on a Ring app. If you haven't seen it and you want a good time with your hubs or whatever, and you're like your partner and you're like cozy on the couch and you want to like crap your pants, watch Paranormal Activity.
Yeah, that's if you want to be real sexy, crap your pants, toot, fart, pee yourself because you keep jumping.
If that movie's worth its salt, I'll do all of those things. Well, I need to do all of those things for that movie to get a good Rotten Tomatoes score from me.
I'm sure that everybody's seen it, but that is one of those movies where I'm like, hey, wait a second. Let's not vilify the other side. Like, let's not make it seem like everybody who's haunting is like a Ouija board, like dark witch kind of person. Like that's probably because why can't I call my gang of like great uncles to come and defend me? Like why?
Wait, are you saying they did vilify the other side?
That's what I'm saying.
They did it right, Jen. What are they supposed to do? Have a movie of like, you guys, we found this really haunting group of quilters.
Yes.
They're going to come in and they're going to show us.
You know what?
The
that might
rings.
not be what Hollywood wants, but I tell you what, there's a group of quilters out there that can share
that would
some
be really
amazing
chilling.
recipes.
That'd be chilling if that was like just this like real fun group of like Midwest like ladies in your house that are like, oh my God, it's like the practical magic of Nebraska.
I know. Okay, you keep going because I have some creepy stuff I was going to tell you.
Okay, what's your scary thing?
Oh, okay. So I read this thing a long time ago and I have to bring it up. Oh, that's a pizza order. Okay.
Oh boy, I thought she was going to say a different. She's like looking at her phone like that's a
penis picture. The whole thing.
I didn't know that was a thing. That when you start dating it nowadays, people send people pictures of their wiener bits.
You know what?
Talk
I tell
about
you,
a horror.
It certainly cuts to the chase, right?
But
it's
why?
You know.
Oh God, guys, I think we got to start a dating site anyway.
Well, because I think if you've got like a weird wiener pic, you might be like, but how motivated are you?
I would not be motivated by a picture of his wiener. I'd be motivated by his credit score.
Well, see, you could get somebody to text a picture of their credit score.
That'd be great. That doesn't feel offensive.
No.
Send me your financials.
I just feel like it's like going in for a health check.
You cannot. I don't even believe that half the wiener pictures that are taken are authenticated. I think they're different.
So I think
okay.
I read these like years ago and these freaked me out.
Are these the
2-line horror movies?
Oh,
two.
What a great thing.
Okay.
I've heard of these. I haven't.
I
Yay.
think they had like a contest on creepypasta or something like that, which, that website.
No, because I don't
stuff. No, you don't
do
want
anything on the interwebs.
Yeah, it's a lot of reading. I don't think you're going to.
Do you know the Dewey Decimal System? Because I do and I miss it. Go ahead.
Okay. So they had this like challenge to write a 2-line like super scary story.
Love it.
So, okay, here's the first one. There was a picture in my phone of me sleeping. I live alone. Okay, I got to find my favorite one. Oh, this is my favorite one. I think this one won. You hear your mom calling you into the kitchen. As you're heading down the stairs, you hear a whisper from the closet saying, "Don't go down there, honey. I heard it too."
Oh my God.
Is that so scary?
That's so scary.
It's so scary.
Wait, read it
right?
again. Read it again.
You hear your mom calling you into the kitchen. As you're heading down the stairs, you hear a whisper from the closet saying, "Don't go down there, honey. I heard it too."
That is amazing. You'd hear my mom go, "I'm in the closet, honey. This is a real shithole and you need to organize better." That's what
My mom would be like, "Hey, one of my ex-boyfriends is down there. I've already called the feds, but
just move on. Don't make any mention of it.
Yeah.
Just, you know what? Oh my God, that's so creepy. Well, that brings us to what do you have another one?
Oh God, there's a million of them.
There's a million of them?
They're so
that
good.
one is really good.
This is the one that will freak out moms.
Okay, because I'm going to write down a creepy kid thing that I heard them say that freaked me the fuck out. Okay, go.
Now I'm going to regret saying this, but it's so scary. My daughter won't stop crying and screaming in the middle of the night. I visit her grave and ask her to stop, but it doesn't help.
No.
I know. That's
absolutely.
why it's so scary, because
See
it
ya
hits
later.
every freaking nerve in your body,
See ya.
right?
You
Yep.
stop it.
Yeah. There's like 150.
Creative writing.
I know. You can, but that's what people do is they try to like write, like make the most out of 2 sentences. And there's another one. I can't find it, but
that's a fun game. That would be a fun game.
That's a fun party game for like a Halloween party.
Or like even like we could even do it on Instagram.
Ooh.
Like 2-line. Mine would be terrible.
Well, there's one.
Mine would start out as a horror and end up like a grocery list.
Kids are so creepy. There's this one where the it's like 2 lines. I'm going to get it wrong. So whoever wrote this,
We're sorry.
But the boy says to his dad, "Will you look under my bed and check for monsters?" Dad looks under the bed and sees the little boy crying, scared. That means whatever's on the top of the bed. Right?
I literally just about peed my pants.
I know.
The one that I heard that was, I'm going to get this wrong. I got to think about this right because I texted it to you. It was a little girl was playing in her room and said, "Oh, don't worry. She's really nice." And the mom was in the room and she was like, "Oh, thanks, honey. Thanks, honey." And the little girl goes, "I wasn't talking to you." And I see you later.
That's kids are so creepy.
Kids are
though.
so creepy that you guys, we did the, so, okay. We posted on Instagram. We asked you to share with us stories of creep. And here's what we say. 3-year-olds in particular they wield a very strong sword because they say the creepiest, most sociopathic things you've ever heard. But it's in this beautiful, cute little wide-eyed voice. It's like a Disney character telling you that you're going to be murdered in your sleep.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't want it any other way.
Very earnest.
I also think they might actually do it. But at 3, they have no motor skills or like upper body strength, so they couldn't get the knife to stick if they wanted to.
They absolutely would be like, "I gotta saw this head off, but glitter."
Yeah, they'd be like, "My
attention
attention span, I can't."
Yeah, I know my kid would because they don't understand like that's a permanent thing either. Mine are like 5 and 7, and they still joke about it'd be fun to drown you. Like,
well, yeah, that's just a good time.
Yeah,
but like. Now, like my kids are a little older, so the things they say that are dark, I'm like, I don't know how to answer these questions. But when they were 3, just the creep factor would come out, and they're both so cute. You're like, cute and creep live together in a harmonious world. But we want to share with you
oh my gosh,
some of these real creeptastic comments that came from the delightful mothers willing to share them.
These are the ones people type, but we have Do we have voicemails?
Oh, we do have voicemails.
Oh, yeah. But let's tell these.
Let's do a couple of these. I'm going to read this first one, which I'm not sure if this is Facebook or Instagram, but I want to give her a shout out. And it's Gemma M-G. And she wrote, my then four-year-old was going through a death phase. And they do. If you're a mother, you know what we're talking about. Yeah. She walked into the living room, turned to face me whilst I was breastfeeding with her newborn sister, looked at me straight in the eyes with a smile on her angelic little face and said, I love Margot. Shame she's going to have to die. With that, she turned away and exited the room.
Oh,
honestly, Margot needs to watch her back. If Margot's with us today, she's going to be like a UFC fighter.
Yeah. Well, you know what? In all fairness, that's what happens to second children. You got to watch
Madeline
your back from
keeps
day
trying
one.
to freaking kill me.
Yeah.
Putting a blanket over me, a stuffy over me.
Yeah, they don't know it's permanent. You got to keep your eye on them.
What do you got over there? You got any creepy?
This one's really funny.
I like it's just meant to be together.
Oh, no, this one. Okay. So this is Caitlin Bennett. Caitlin B. said, my daughter has a spirit in her room that she talks to. Also, the other day, I was telling her dad how one of her baby dolls, never gets to do anything. She's always grounded. And then my daughter whispered to the doll and said, they don't suspect a thing.
What?
Ew, so creepy.
What?
Everybody's scared of dolls too, right?
Dolls, porcelain dolls, clowns, kids. Put them all together. You got yourself the most terrifying thing.
The trifecta of fear. Yeah.
Because you think the kids do, because of their innocence, have a vision that we don't get. I was told myself, if my kids came to me and they were like, I see a man in my closet, I would not be one of those parents, because they're the first to go, by the way. They're the first ones to take a hatchet. You know, I was going to change the order of it and be like, I'm going to lean in and believe you. And then I didn't, because it was bullshit. But here, I'm going to read another one. At Melanie Jane 03, Melanie writes, I was walking downstairs early in the morning when it was still dark. Had no clue my 5-year-old daughter was downstairs sitting in the dark on the couch. Before I rounded the corner, I hear, hello, darkness, my old friend. Whispered by my lunatic toddler in a super creepy voice. That kid just has incredible comic timing.
I hope it was more on key than that rendition.
Sorry. What is the song?
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
You know what? You know what? Is it creepier on key or off key? Either way, I gave you both. You are welcome. You are welcome. God, these are so good.
It's because they're like earnest, and I really do believe that like kids have some because it's not socialized out of them to like.
No, they just say it.
To dismiss it. Yeah.
Guys, I think we should go to voicemails.
Let's go to voicemails. I'm dying to hear these.
I'm dying to.
So the creepiest thing that my kid not has said but done is once when our son was about, I want to say 1.5, maybe 2 years old, he went into our knife drawer, took out essentially a butcher knife, walked all the way upstairs and came to the side of my husband's bed, or our bed to my husband's side when he was sleeping, and was like, hi, Dad, standing there with a butcher knife.
Here's the thing. This is not the first time I've heard this. This is not the 50th time I've heard this, where kids walk into your bed with a knife standing next to you. What in our like caveman world did they do?
I don't understand it, because very rarely your kid will walk in holding an iPad a lot, which that's kind of.
I think her kid was holding an iPad while she left this, by the way, because I could hear like Peppa and the pig.
I know.
Behind it. I was like, God bless you. I get it.
Like, I recognize that birds.
I know. She's like, yeah, Camp Kikawaka.
They do, because I think that to them it's like a funny game, because they really don't see like the finite. That life is finite, you guys.
I don't think they think past their freaking nose. They're like, I got this object I'm certain will cut. Whether I do it, let's see how it goes in the room. And then they look at you and they're like, you're decent. And then they decide not to kill you. That's where you're at with your child. If they're normal.
I think I landed on something, and it might be the hard seltzer talking, but it's like kids
I'd like to go back to our Brie conversation.
That as we get older, we get that life is finite. So if you're married to deadbeat Greg, you got to move on in your life. One life to live.
So what
you
you're
need
saying
to get
is,
on that love boat, and maybe 3's company for you. I don't know.
Sarah,
maybe 8's enough. I'm just naming TV shows right now.
I
Sorry.
thought you were naming possible scenarios in a love
Both.
boat.
That's it's
the love boat.
I just want
Greg
everybody
is
to
not
be happy.
invited to be
No,
on
you're
here.
not.
The 3-year-old.
You need to find your own fantasy island.
Oh my God, those are good shows. You're taking
Build
us
your
off
own
topic.
dynasty.
You know what my brain does now? I'm going on to those shows and not about creepy kids. Okay, number 2, which one? Toddler. Oh, son wants to push her. Sister wants to cut.
I like that one. What's that one?
God, could we I think we just found all 5 categories for any kid that's creepy because every parent's
Sister
like,
likes
I
to
could go under all these.
Cut sounds like a
Okay, here we go.
horror film
Yeah, but-
name.
Or a Tuesday.
Hi, this is Nicole from Wisconsin.
Oh, I like your
When
accent.
we were little, we have all these home videos of me and my sisters. And there's one in particular where I'm recording my 2 younger sisters and I zoom in and my middle sister just gets super serious and all of a sudden squeezes the arm of my youngest sister and just says, I want to cut you with a knife.
Oh my God.
I like that she just left with that. She knows how to tell a story.
Oh my
She just campfire storied us.
cut you
She's
with-
like,
yeah.
I want to cut you with a knife. End scene.
Oh my God.
I mean, it's not that hard to think about. Like,
Especially girls. They're messed up.
girls, man, they'll
Girls-
play that game.
Yeah. Yeah.
My son was looking at the TV one time. Sesame Street was on. Elmo was on, whatever, which is the sweetest. Couldn't have been cuter. He's got that curly hair. And Eleanor was maybe year and a half. And he goes, I don't want to hit my sister. I don't want to hit my sister. And I'm like, what the? You're watching Elmo, the most
Yeah.
gentle creature on the planet.
Hey, Finn, you know those words are coming out of your mouth?
Hey-
They're not staying inside your head?
Nope, I didn't tell him. I'm like, you let that happen forever. Because now he's like, I want to kiss Zendaya. And I'm like, good. I know exactly where your head is.
Aww.
He does. I know. That's my next horror. He wants a girlfriend.
That's a
I'd
whole
rather
different-
deal with him coming into my bedroom trying to cut me with a knife. Now he's like, I want to date Heidi Klum. And I'm like, she's too old and she's had 3 marriages.
I feel like for you, Kristen, you don't need to worry about your kids killing you. It's probably your mom because she really has her sights on your husband. Which brings us
yes.
to our hot
Hot
flash.
hot flash,
It's a
hot
a
flash.
very special hot flash. Hot flash, hot flash.
A big special hot flash not out to my mom, or the fact that my mom would, if there was an accident that happened that took me out, her fingers are not
She'd
crossed.
step in right
She'd
away.
step in and she'd be like, look, if I'm going to come in and save the day, it has to be all in. Yes, I'm still married. I've been married for
She would like dye her
She'd be
hair
like,
brown.
I
She would get
just
like a
need-
wig.
She'd be like, no, I'm better. And she kind of is. She's more fit for sure. Today is my 10-year wedding anniversary. And so my hot flash tonight is dedicated to my husband, Colin, who I love so much, who I give so much incredible shit to. But man, we've been through so much this week, just in particular, a hard week with school.
Yeah.
But this guy, speaking of Halloween, I thought I would share this story because it's awful. And Jen, I think, knows it. My husband thinks it's super funny to scare me because I think I do give good reaction.
It's really fun to scare Kristen or to make her think that she accidentally forgot to do something important.
Or if this is another conversation for another time, or if your friend randomly has a galldarn remote control to her phone camera and keeps taking pictures of you when you don't know. Remember how you had that stupid remote?
Yeah.
Nightmare.
I'll
I felt like I
post
was
them.
being like picked on. Anyway, that's another story. But my husband, back to him. He loves
I didn't
to
even
scare me.
realize I was doing it. I was only looking at
That is
myself.
such BS.
No. Which part? I didn't even know you were there. I didn't know if you were
Jen's
framed
like,
up or what. I was
look
like,
at me.
do I look thin or
Go,
any?
go.
I was so hopeful.
And I'm like
That's what
looking
all
at the
those were.
computer with 14 chins and like flipping off the camera. So my husband and Jen have the same warped sense of humor and think it's hilarious to scare me or freak me out. And my husband, if you're married, you'll get this, loves to act like a creepy masturbator. Like, so whatever house we've ever lived in,
Oh, God.
his favorite thing to do, I'll be like doing the dishes or
Whatever
cleaning.
house the neighbors lived in.
Whatever house the neighbors lived in, walks up and he goes, and I hear it, and then he'll tap the outside of the wall like he is a.
Is that what sound he makes?
Not when we're making love.
Okay.
Unless it's a Tuesday, because then I'm into it. But so he'll act like he's like pounding the wall with his wiener. Anybody else with me? So
No, but I do remember that guy from an episode of Scooby-Doo. And he was like, owned the gin mill down the street.
Yeah, he was always the guy that owned the gin mill or the museum.
Yeah.
You should know that by now. So my husband is that guy. So then there was this one particular time where I was in the back of our house that was a fenced yard, and I took off my top, and I was fully
What were you doing back there?
changing my top. I mean, I was in my bedroom. What do you think I was doing?
Oh, I thought you were in the backyard.
No.
I'm like, oh, come
God,
on.
no.
Nobody's like, I need to
No.
change my top right now.
No, I was in my back. I'm sorry. I was in the back of our house in the backyard. No, not in the backyard. Help
You
me.
were in your bedroom, which was in the back of the house.
Thank you. In the back of the house. And I took off my shirt, and I wasn't wearing a bra shocker. And my husband goes, but it took me forever to recognize what was going on. So all I kept doing was looking around the room with my boobs like
shaking around, and then it was getting louder.
and then it was getting loud. And I would love to tell you that I'm someone that, like, in that experience, I want to be the one that reacts the right way. Like, I like put up my dukes, or like I'm ready to like fight, or I'm like, I put up my white tank top and I go find the guy in the backyard. Like, I'm ready to fight. That is not what my reaction is. Every single time it's the same thing. And I fall flat to the ground, and I don't do it it's never like a good sound. It's always like,
But then she came up wearing a white tank top and then just found a
That's
bottle of
machine gun.
seltzer that was and sprayed it all over herself, slow motion
and
style.
that's how Eleanor was conceived, you guys. That's how it works. So big shout out to my
Happy
husband.
anniversary.
Thank
That's
you.
a big one.
decade.
What's
10
10
years.
years? 10 years is what? What
I
is
don't
it?
know.
The wood?
A high five.
It's always, every
It's always
anniversary
the
is
wood.
the wood one.
It's the wood. It's gonna be wood later. Gross. Disgusting.
Of course it is. You guys
Ew,
love
don't-
each other.
Don't be gross.
You're
You-
going to
we-
change your shirt in the backyard and he's going to
We don't-
masturbate at your neighbor's house. That's the way you guys do it nowadays.
And you guys will like make love quietly over a piece of brie
Jeez.
while sipping Sauvignon Blanc and making no noise. It's not creepy, you guys. It's love.
That's
That's
right.
why our kids aren't creepy when they talk about murdering us in our sleep. Should we be done?
Let's be done.
You guys, thanks
You-
for joining
Yeah.
us.
And you can follow us on Instagram, Facebook. You can watch the podcast on YouTube.
Yeah, you can see my sexy red boots on the I Mom So
They are
Hard
very
podcast
sexy.
YouTube.
And then we just follow us and listen wherever podcasts are gotten from.
And thank you to all the mommies who posted and left
Oh my God,
comments.
we're loving them.
Your misery is our joy. You do right by us, and we're so grateful.
Yay!
Good night, you
Good night.
guys. Woo!